Brandon, important victory for you, but it wasn't easy. And this specific moment, you spent a lot of time on b5. He was also blitzing out his moves. What was your assessment at this point?
Can we start off by saying how ridiculous 2080 is, or whatever his rating is?
Yes.
I mean, he obviously deserves to be here. He's playing chess like he's proving himself. And there are no easy games in the tournament, for
Absolutely
sure.
not.
And I mean, he fought super well the entire game. And it was probably a draw up until even the last moment, but I felt like I was trying.
We'll get to that.
Okay. I don't even want to know what the computer says, but
we'll get to that.
But yeah, okay, so in this position, so I figured I knew knight b6 was not the correct move. I mean, I knew this whole g6, knight b6. It felt a little loose because knight's still on h5.
Right.
Normally they go back to f6 first. It only really makes sense of blacking it. But the thing is, if I spend like a logical waiting move, knight d2, let's say, once he gets in bishop e6, it feels like he should be doing pretty much okay here. You can reroute his knight f6,
Whenever
knight e8
you
at
go
some
b5,
point.
you have c5.
b5, he has
much
cb
easier.
and a5, I think, is the bigger issue. And
A5,
in general, white should be slightly better. I can go like queen b3 or something to cover the c4 square, but it didn't feel like anything special here, and I figured I'd probably have something better. So I started looking at b5. Now the move black would like to play is cb5. And if I take back, then a5 is pretty comfortable for black, I think. So instead I have this a5 move here. And so I spent a long time calculating this because, so black can try b4 or knight d7. And the issue is, let's say black goes knight d7 after a5.
Sure.
It looks like black might be in time after knight takes d5, queen d6, e4, and b6 here. And if black has one more move, bishop b7 is fine, but I have e5 here, which is pretty important, I think. And black's in pretty serious trouble. Yeah, and if instead of b6, black wastes another move, let's say, I don't know, like rook b8, or rook b8, let's say, then I'm in time for rook c1, and again stopping b5, b6 with a rook c6. So,
yeah, this is nice.
So yeah, black can't really get developed here is the issue. And then instead if, after cb a5, black tries b4 here, knight a2, so knight c4 is the only move that makes sense. Queen takes b4, he's got a trade, take, bishop e6. And now I think the issue in the end is I was trying to figure out the right move order. e4 is playable, but knight f4 might be an issue. So I can take on c4, I think, dc4, and knight d2. And now, so I'm playing knight e4 and knight c5. And if black plays something like knight f6, then I'm just in time for knight b1. And I think black's in pretty serious trouble here, yeah.
That's nice. So you're calculating all of this crazy
And the thing is, like, I have to
ideas.
be careful. Let's say instead of like knight d2, if I start with d5, for example, bishop d7, knight d2, black can try like rook f c8. And the issue now is if I go like knight e4, for example, then he's in time for c3, and rook c4 is a threat. So, so there are a bunch of little tricks like this I have to watch out for,
Yes.
So I was just calculating this all, and like b5 intuitively felt like the way to punish the way he played, but yeah, I needed to make sure all the lines worked out for me. So he played a, b, and c5, which I think was a good practical choice.
Best move by the engine, by the way.
Yeah, no, surprisingly difficult to figure out what to do here. I mean, I tried queen a3. I actually really underestimated bishop e6. I mean, I saw it, but I thought like I can go queen takes c5. I just completely forgot like in the end his knight will just come collect my b pawn. I thought I'd have an extra pawn in the endgame. So I tried queen a7 and okay, in general white's always slightly better here, but like to actually win this game is another story.
Very limited material.
For sure. Yeah. I thought this queen one might have been clever to try to get the c file. If he doesn't go for knight g4. But he went for this really interesting knight g4 rook c8, which I didn't even consider for black. And it feels strategically risky to trade off the knight, but he's kind of just in time to hold everything.
Queen c3.
So g5, rook c3, seems all forced. Rook a1, rook c5. Yeah, I thought he would keep the bishop on c8 instead of bishop d7. To me, it felt like bishop d7 was kind of a step in the wrong direction. I thought you would go bishop c8.
Bishop c8.
Yeah, and try to just go king f8, king e7 pretty quickly. Now he does have to watch out for like an eventual.
Let's see what. Yeah, not easy.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you just have to watch out for some like rook h1 at some point with my king's on g3, let's say. But if he places his pieces correctly, he probably so king e7 is already a blunder. But if he puts like the rook on c5 at the right moment, I think maybe he'll have enough counterplay in the b pawn, like maybe rook's
c5 here.
Maybe.
f6.
It says f6. Okay.
Still remains complex.
Right. I think what he got in the game practically was pretty difficult with his king kind of boxed out.
It was, but then it was this moment when you got this point.
So I was getting low on time here, and the thing is, after f4. By the way, after f4, I think even easier for black is to go f5 here. I noticed it. I noticed in the game, but I figured it was worth a shot because I didn't really know what else to try. Because the thing is, if I don't go f4, the issue is black's
Perhaps he was worried about this.
Yeah. There's something after I can go b6 in some moment too. And like it's not an immediate draw. It's not as easy as the engine might suggest, I think.
Right.
But
if you take, I take on f5.
Yeah, or like I can start with b6 or
And he wants to just like give up the piece like this, yeah?
Yeah, I guess this is
G
some kind of
takes
draw.
F4 and
But even
G8.
like I can start with b6 after, I can go like gf and b6 after f5.
Yes.
Instead of then f3. I can take on or taking on f5 first. Yeah, and then b6 maybe.
Yeah.
And okay, I mean I guess this is a draw, but like at least the game goes on, yeah.
Not easy.
Not easy. But the thing is, if I don't go f4 though, like he's gonna go king f7 next, and I'm gonna get a similar kind of rook game. I can go b6, but I don't know. What do I do against king f7? Like, obviously I'm better here, but I wasn't exactly sure to break. I guess I can play slowly rook a5, yeah.
Just some slow
Yeah, it's
play.
probably smarter. I thought
Rook
also
A5,
because he was
rook
starting to get
C6.
low in time on move. What was it, like 38 or something?
No, not easy. Not easy at
But
all.
yeah, after knight c6, I noticed gf4 should draw instead of bishop c6. Yeah.
That's
This
right.
I saw. And the issue was, yeah, if I go king takes, you can even go bishop c6 maybe, but okay, let's say bc. Yeah, if I have to go king takes, then this is the draw, yeah.
I think something
But,
like this.
Well, okay, but here we go king e6, yeah.
Yeah.
But
With a
okay,
king on
so
F4.
I want to try EF4 though. Is like what I would want to do. But now he takes with the pawn. And yeah,
now he
if I
goes
take
king
back, then he's in time for rook d8. Yeah, this I saw. Yeah, and so I can't do this because CD king e7. So instead I go rook takes d7 here. And then I think it was king e8 takes rook c8 exactly. Yeah.
That's so. If he takes with the pawn, you go to e8. If you take with the king, he goes to
exactly.
e6.
Yeah. So the thing is, I noticed that he should like I noticed that he should have started with gf4 during the game. I was just kind of hoping he wouldn't play it, especially because it would force me to make a decision on which is like trickier for him on move 40.
Yeah.
So I was pretty glad to see, like, even if I wasn't exactly sure that what he did lose, but like, I don't know, it was like, I kind of felt like I at least avoided the danger because now I have 30 minutes to think and figure out what at least the best practical try would be.
Brandon, never easy to win a game, but the result is what counts. How do you feel about your shape so far? Are you getting warmed up?
Yeah, I mean, in general, I think like my play has sort of, I wouldn't say it's gotten better, but I think I've stabilized it and I've kind of found my footing especially because like the last game was nice, basically a rest day, and I was able to kind of reset. In this game, like during the game, it felt like it was not great, but okay, seeing now that I didn't really have many chances, I feel a bit better about this game. But I think it's still pretty early in the tournament to make any conclusions, so just trying to take it one game at a time and do the best I can.
Absolutely. Congratulations, guys. Any questions?
Our congratulations as well, Brandon. Very nicely done, and that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Sometimes